Scotland France. That's kicking us off. 3:15 Sunday morning New Zealand time. The Scots just shy of $3, $2.95 head to head, and
6.5 points.
6.5 in the point start market. Are you taking the Scots on again here, Paul?
I'm taking the plus 6.5. Back to Scotland again. I think that will lift them once again. This will throw the overall competition into a whole disarray if the Scots get up and beat the French here. Everyone sort of gets back in with a chance. I'm not so sure they can do it, but I certainly think they can keep it fairly close. I think, once again, emotionally, they'll be able to get up for this game. They'll have the crowd behind them. And the French will be coming off that win over the Irish. And I think coming into here and thinking, we may just have to turn up to pick up the points here, and they may get a wee bit of a rude awakening. So I think Scotland plus 6.5 isn't the worst bet this weekend.
That's interesting. Have you got any strong thoughts on these ones?
I'm going to start with Paul here, actually. When I first looked at this game, I was all over France, and then I just sort of thought about it back at Murrayfield. They've won 3 straight versus France at Murrayfield, and they've won 3 of the last 4 overall. So Scotland have. So Scotland have had the better of France recently, and I think they'll be disappointed about that Welsh game and be happy to be home. They've had the extra week off. And my strategy, Six Nations so far, has been to back Scotland and to bet against France, and it's worked once and not worked once. So I'm going back. I'm sticking to it. Scotland plus 6.5, and I wouldn't even mind a little. $2.95 for the wins, but I don't know. But yeah, I'm happy. I think it'll be a tight one, and it's always hard to play at Murrayfield, that's for sure.
Yeah. I do want to be cautious about overreacting here because I've got Scotland wrong both games, but just the game against England was a really good defensive effort. They kept England in check pretty well, but they didn't have a lot of the ball. Against Wales, they didn't want any of the ball. They kept kicking it away for some reason. I don't know if there was a substance on the ball that smelled bad and they didn't like. But I just think you can't, against this France team, you can't give them that much ball and expect to live and see another day, because they will score sooner rather than later when you keep giving. So I think France are a decent bet here. I like the minus 6.5. Just get inside that converted try. But yeah, no, I mean I'm a bit scared off betting on Scotland games now after the last 2 showings. But yeah, if forced to pick, I would take the minus there.
Makes me feel good about the fact I'm on Scotland.
Yeah, for sure.
One of us had to get off.
Yeah. No, I just like watching France play, so I'm happy to beat them. But the other probably consequential game we won't touch too much on, Ireland Italy, because I think Italy are going to be lucky to get 0 in that game.
What are they paying here?
$41. chuck them in a multi with a draw. But yeah, no, we will head to Twickenham though and touch quickly on the second game on Sunday morning, 5:45 New Zealand kickoff time for England taking on a resurgent Wales. So the big story is Manu Tuolagi's back in the midfield for England. It looks like going to play his first Six Nations game in 2 years, I think. So interesting to see what that does to England. Marcus Smith obviously was very impressive against Italy. I saw him compared to Tom Brady, Johnny Wilkinson, Bowden Barrett, and about 5 other people on social media. So yeah, who do you think he's going to be being compared to after this game, Paul?
Nelson Mandela. I don't know. Fair dinkum. It's ridiculous.
The Tom Brady one was great. That was a very serious British paper comparing this 20-year-old's first 5 to I digress. Yeah, are you plus minus 14.5? I think it is. Got any leans here?
I'll take the Palms minus 14.5. I think Tuilangi just makes a huge difference to that English team, and they'll be able to score a few points with him, and he'll be the focus of that offense. And I'm sure they'll build a lot of momentum around him. So he's already had a gallop for, was it the Sale Sharks in the Premiership? He looked pretty good there. So I think he'll just slide straight in there. And I can see the Poms scoring quite a few tries out wide because the defense is just getting sucked in to try and contain Tuilangi in the centres. So yeah, minus 14.5 for me.
Sione Tuipulotu had plenty of joy against Wales for Scotland last week. He was probably one of Scotland's best performers with that sort of hard running from second 5 as well. So you can see Tuilangi doing the same sort of thing. Any thoughts on this one, Richard?
I'll take the plus 14.5. I think it's quite a few points. I just had a wee look at the historic, the history between these two teams. You'd have to go, if this was a line in every game, you'd have to go back to 2006 to have to find a game that England had actually won by 14.5 or more. So Wales have won 3 of the last 6 against England. So I know there's a few key outs and all that, but also key outs of both teams. Read somewhere that Faletau might be returning. So
that's what I'm just checking.
It sounds like he might slip back in there. Josh Adams will be playing. It sounds like Louis Rees-Zammit has been sort of put back to club footy, which is interesting. Like, he was one of the sort of finds of last season. And but yeah, it's a big line. I probably won't be taking. I won't be taking the 485 head to head, but to get a 2 converted try sort of point start, I don't mind that at all. So if Faletau does return, I think that'll be huge, and I'd be happy to take that plus there.
Yeah, I think I'll slight lean to the minus. I could see England. I think if they get going, I think Wales could sort of fall apart like they did against Ireland. Like that, they were really good when they were in the fight against Scotland. But if things aren't going their way, I could see maybe England would want to be sending a bit of a message after a pretty poor start to the tournament. So I don't think they'll take the foot off the gas, being an old rival at Twickenham. But yeah, not a game I'm overly excited to have a bet on, that's for sure.